This is not the internet. This is the Metaverse. Hello pioneers. Today I'm going to talk to you about ISO20022, which is the new messaging standards for banking. So if you have a look at this diagram I have here, it contains some of the members of INATBA. Now, INATBA is a global forum that brings together public and private entities so they can discuss the adoption of blockchain. So going back to the diagram, let's have a look at some of these members and see who they are. So we have IOTA, we have Ripple R3 Corda, Stellar, IBM and Hyperledger are grouped together, Zinfin, Algorand and USDC with Circle. And this is the original diagram that I got it from, which was from July 2020. Yeah. And if we take a couple of these guys and group it together with Pi, let's see if we can find any relationship going on here. So if we put these three together, let's have a look at what relationship we can find. So Ripple is DLT, Stellar's a fork of Ripple, and Pi Network is a fork of Stellar. Each have minted 100 billion coins. Stellar has burnt 50 billion of those. Ripple has a fixed supply, while Stellar and Pi are inflationary. Ripple was founded with Jeb McCaleb, who then left and went to Stellar to be one of the founders there. Ripple's running their own consensus algorithm, whereas Stellar and Pi both run the Stellar consensus protocol. Ripple conference is swell. The SDF have theirs with Meridian, and Pi Network has attended Meridian in the past. Ripple initially had a contract with MoneyGram to do cross-border payments. That fell on the wayside, and Stellar moved in, and now they have the contract with MoneyGram. But most importantly are the CBDCs, and we can see here they're both Ripple and Stellar are heavily involved in them, and there is some overlap. Now if we look at the map that Ripple's website has, this is associated with their CBDC document report. You can see there's a lot of countries that they say that they're involved with. Now if we overlay Stellar on top of that, you can see there's a few countries that do overlap. So you've got like France and Liechtenstein, Ukraine and Thailand. Now of course if you want full global coverage, then that's our Pi network, and we're pretty well in every country on the world. Now let's take Stellar and the grouping with IBM and Hyperledger and see if we can break it down a bit more. On the 24th of March, Stellar announced that they were creating a bridge to Ethereum called Starbridge. Around the same time, one of Stellar's assets, Pendulum, announced they were creating a bridge to Polkadot called Spacewalk. Next project on their hands is to bridge to Cosmos, and they also say that they can bridge to any chain. Add to that the relationship with Flare, with Stellar, and they are bridging to any chain again, they say. So with their graphic here, we can see there's Solaris, Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I added in XRP because I think the relationship with Flare and XRPs are pretty standard. So what does Stellar bring to the table here? Right? Why are we building these bridges? Right? Well, Stellar has access to the Forex market. Right? That's $6.6 trillion a day in volume. So that's quite sizable. Now, we've got the Forex market access, and we've got our bridges. What are they bridging to? They're bridging to the DeFi market. And this is how we get the Forex trading onto DeFi. Now let's look at the IBM relationship a bit more, because I think people don't understand how important IBM is to all of this. If you look inside a bank's data center, and this is pretty well every bank in the world, you'll find at the front end, you'll have your applications running on IBM Power Systems and Sun Oracle systems running Solaris. But the core banking is all IBM mainframe, all connecting through an enterprise service bus. And although this is very basic, it's pretty well the same setup in every bank. So you can, when it comes to IBM, they run all the infrastructure inside of data centers. Also with IBM, they've been running their AI programs for quite a long time now. This all started with Deep Blue when they were playing chess against Kasparov. A little inside story I have from that is that on day one of the match, they didn't want to change the tuning parameters that they were recommended because they didn't want to upset the match that they had configured. So they let that run, and on the second day they added the tuning parameters, which made the system run faster. And Kasparov commented he thought the computer was getting smarter because it was running, making its moves a lot faster. But it was just the tuning process. This led on to IBM Watson, which is an incredible AI project. They started off with Watson Health, where they actually had physical doctors putting their input into cases and diagnoses and all that, and this is well advanced now. It's also got a few more things here that it's doing, but it's so much more now, and it's running smart cities and building management for air quality and climate inside each room. The running of the lifts, all these types of things. It's very, very powerful now. Coming back into the Pi network, if we look at our nodes here, we know that the core team run their own nodes. They're running on Google Cloud. And then us as pioneers, we can run our own nodes on our own PCs. We're running in a container and running on Alpine Linux. You can see here this is the latest numbers for each country, so there's quite a lot of nodes out there currently. So looking at our ISO20022, we have a nice grouping here of blockchains. We know IBM and Stellar are bringing the Forex market to DeFi through the use of bridges. So where does this leave Pi network? Well, Pi network, I believe, will be the front end that'll onboard us regular people onto blockchain. And quite possibly, I believe Pi network could be a universal basic income. So why is Pi a good candidate to be a universal basic income? Well, we have a liveness test once per day. We have KYC to ensure a single account. And we have access to our own secret keys, so there's no requirement for passwords. We have our security circle, where 3 out of 5 members will be able to verify our accounts in case we lose our phone. And it's globally accessible for anyone with a smartphone. They can start mining. We also have these roles, which I see a hierarchy. If you just want to be a pioneer, you get a universal basic income. There's no requirement to work, and you'll get the minimum base mining rate. You want to be a contributor and willing to work and add to society, then you'll get a higher mining rate. Or if you become an ambassador, this will be a governing DAO representative. We've also got our 7 decimal places, and as you can see with the reduction in base mining rate, these come into play very quickly. By December, I could be only earning 40 pi, which makes pi very scarce. Coming to announcements, I just want to say again about the PiChain Mall and their NFT marketplace, and they've taken over Pi Pets. I myself have been creating NFTs, to get ready for this, because this is what core team wants us to do, to contribute to the network. And just as the last promo, I've got my Pi Metaverse still ongoing, and we've got landing pages and the roadmap and all our peripherals for all the immersive technologies. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed that video. Hopefully, that shows some sort of relationship between the ISO members. We've got all that beautiful Forex coming to DeFi, and Pi Network could well truly end up being a universal basic income. So until next time, enjoy the video and have a good day.